I change as a coach. I see things a little bit different. I had an idea how to play, how to build up in a certain ways, and I changed that.
Everybody, we made it. We're through the last international break, no more until March, and it's been a long one, this one. I suppose a little bit of time to reflect, but what we can do now is actually talk about what's coming ahead. And there's an interview, bombshell moment, I know, with Ruben Amorim, but this is a good one. And there's some key points I want to pull out from it because I'll be honest, he's kind of saying exactly what I suppose I certainly wanted to hear. And I'm sure you have too. Let's run through it and you can let me know what you think in the comments below. But big up to Ian Irving. Really good interview on Premier League Productions. You can watch it on the United official app. And I'm guessing on the Premier League YouTube channel at some point soon. I'm going to focus on Ruben Amorim's quote when he's speaking about how he has changed as a coach. Right? I'm going to read through the quote and then we can speak about it. All right? He's saying, I think I've changed as a coach. I see things a little bit different. I had an idea how to play, how to build up in certain ways, and I changed that. Here, and you see this in the Premier League, we are really focused on data, so you need to change the way you do things. You need to pay attention. Of course, you want to play in a specific way, but you need to adapt. You need to understand where you need to play more possession, the way we win some corners to push opponents and all these things. And I think Ruben Amorim's saying that he's changing as a coach. He's probably talking about the use of data there. Well, I'm using way more data than I ever did at Sporting. But also on top of that, that's what I wanted to see post Brentford. It's why I said I lost faith. I didn't know where these tweaks were coming from. But I've spoken about it and you can see it. Like, we're 5 undefeated now. We won Premier League Manager of the Month in October. It's not a coincidence. It started with Sunderland, what felt like a routine win. And a big reason is Senny Lamont enabling Ruben Amorim to play a slightly different way and also to have more confidence in your own goalkeeper. I actually think the Lick's only going to grow in importance for Ruben Amorim. But I think one game in particular for me stands out. And it's Brighton for a couple of reasons. Firstly, you look at the stats after that game, right? United having just under 44% possession. We have actually played better under Ruben Amorim when we've had less possession. We've given the opposition the ball. And it's exactly what we did. We were stepping off Brighton for the first half. I didn't expect us to. We went in 3-0 up at half-time. We dominated them with the chances. We were clinical, which has obviously played a big role, and Mbeumo winning Premier League Player of the Month is a big contributing factor. But we did shift styles, and it started with that routine win against Sunderland and how we played against Liverpool, of which this man was massively involved in that, the tactical approach. But that Brighton game, I think was I'm not going to call it a blueprint for Ruben Amorim. I think how we played in that first half was a bit of a blueprint. Doesn't matter if you give the opposition less of the ball. You don't have to focus on playing out from the back. We've certainly seen United play less of that. But as good as that first half was, the second half for Ruben Amorim was very reflective of, I would say, the biggest problems that he's still got going into this run of the next 10 fixtures. And it's the second half and how United play. We're basically top of the table in terms of first half results. We're basically bottom of the table as far as second half results. And he spoke about it here in a lot of detail, speaking about how he thinks that United lose the intensity, Casemiro, Maguire going off, but also go down there. I think we lose some impetus when we are in an advantage, when we're winning, right? We lose that thing of continuing to press the same way. It's a lot of things together. I think we think, let's not suffer a goal, let's not concede, and our mindset should be, we have one goal, we just need another opportunity to kill the game. So I think it's mental, but it's also physical, and we need to improve in that aspect. I think physically these players look pretty damn good this season. I think he's kind of downplaying how much it really is mental. That these players in the first half, when they score a goal, their mindset is to retreat, to go inwards, which is not the United way, and which is not the way that you comfortably win games of football. That's why that Sunderland game felt a bit different. It was routine. We've got 2. Yeah, calm. It was in control. But Ruben Amorim speaking about how he's changed, right, I think is important. I never wanted Ruben Amorim to throw his system out the window. It wasn't what I was calling for. However, you can change how a formation is applied. That's what we've seen. And I think that's partly what he's alluding to here when he's saying he's changing as a coach. He came in here with a sort of premeditated idea of what he wanted this United team to be like, which I don't think has changed. But the road to get there might just be slightly longer. And in the meantime, a slightly adapted version, and we're talking small tweaks. We're talking playing it a little bit long in certain games, using the data, which again, I think people find it boring, but it's how the best teams operate these days, to get the micro advantages, to know that going into this Everton game, for example, right, and we have a look at the next 10 games, and like, we are sitting here facing the sort of opportunity that not this United team, but just Man United have just ballsed up year on year on year. We've just won Premier League and Player of the Month. Frustrating couple of draws with 2 games against Forest and Spurs that replicated each other in the second half. But regardless of that, that's in the past. Look forward, look ahead, look at the fixtures that we've got. These next 10 games for United, 9 games, is an opportunity to be boring. An opportunity to get a routine win against Everton. Won't be easy. Spurs beat them 3-0, but I think all of those goals came from set pieces, which is something that Amorim himself spoke about. I say the opportunity to be boring because Everton, West Ham, Wolves, they should be United wins. Crystal Palace away, Bournemouth at home, tricky games. But if United play well, we can win both of those games. I want more of those routine style games at Sunderland. I think Ruben Amorim does too, right? I'd love to see this 4-0 at the weekend, but I don't know whether that's going to happen again. That's obviously when we played them last time. My point here is that exactly what I wanted to see from Ruben Amorim is what's happened. Now, I'm not a messiah. He's not done anything because of me in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm suggesting, right? Don't put words in my mouth. But clearly, he's tweaked. Clearly, he's changed certain things that have worked. Is it the ultimate end game? Probably not. But I think that Brighton game in the first half was very reflective of that. And he wants his team in the second half to, well, not even in the second half, and it's kind of what we did against Brighton. But if you're 3-0 up, don't just sit and retreat. And that was kind of a big mistake from Dorgu. But he wants United to go for the jugular. And I'd say that's part of United's identity as well. To continue attacking, not to be a Mourinho side. You get 1 goal and you shut up shop. You might win 1-0, but you've been defending your box for the majority of the game. That's not particularly United. I really, really want Ruben Amorim to succeed. It's why I titled my video, I'm sorry, Ruben Amorim, when I said I'd lost faith in him, because I didn't see the momentum coming from anywhere. Since then, with 5 undefeated, he's won Premier League Manager of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month to go on to Mbumo. And with the fixtures that we've got coming up now, it's the easiest on paper in the next 5 games and the whole of the Premier League. Take advantage, United. Build something. We already have started building something. Don't undo that hard work. And it starts with Everton. In fact, it started with some tweaks and changes. That's brought some results. Now put results on results, and that's down to the players. I suppose Amorim as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens between now and the end of the year, because it's going to be busy.